Paratroopers, soldiers trained to jump from planes with parachutes. The Army deployed elite paratroopers to the border to secure the landing zone. Reckoning, a time when past mistakes or actions are judged. Tech companies are facing a legal reckoning over their failure to protect young users. Equatorial, relating to the equator, specifically Equatorial Guinea. The diplomat was assigned to a mission in Equatorial Guinea to improve trade ties. Diplomatic, relating to international relations and negotiation. Despite the ongoing conflict, diplomatic channels remain open for peace talks. Unabated, without any reduction in intensity or strength. The heavy rainfall continued unabated throughout the night, causing severe flooding. Furiously, in an extremely energetic or intense manner. Scientists are working furiously to find a cure for the new virus. Mediation, intervention in a dispute to resolve it. International mediation helped the two warring nations reach a temporary ceasefire. Blockade, an act of sealing off a place to prevent goods or people from entering or leaving. The naval blockade has severely restricted the import of essential supplies. Strait, a narrow passage of water connecting two seas. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the world's most critical strategic waterways. Backlogged, having a large amount of work or orders that have built up. The shipping port is heavily backlogged due to the recent labor strike. Countered, responded to an action or proposal with an opposing one. The defense attorney countered the prosecutor's allegations with new evidence. Reparations, compensation for damages or loss during war. The country is demanding financial reparations for the destruction caused by the invasion. Non-starters, ideas or proposals that have no chance of succeeding. The new tax proposal was considered a non-starter by both political parties. Factual, based on or containing things that are true. The journalist was praised for providing a factual account of the complex event. Nitty-gritty, the most important aspects or practical details of a matter. Let's skip the small talk and get down to the nitty-gritty of the contract. Miscalculate, to judge a situation wrongly or estimate a value incorrectly. The company miscalculated the demand for its new product, leading to a surplus. Ramped, increased or stepped up in intensity or volume. The police have ramped up security measures ahead of the international summit. Militant, someone who is willing to use strong or violent methods for a cause. The group is known for its militant approach to environmental activism. Mobilization, the process of organizing troops and resources for active service. The government ordered a full mobilization of the army in response to the threat. Juries, groups of people sworn to give a verdict in a legal case. Juries in high-profile cases often face immense pressure from the public. Verdicts, formal decisions or judgments in a court case. The legal team is reviewing the verdicts to determine if they should file an appeal. Liable, legally responsible for something. The court ruled that the manufacturer is liable for the injuries caused by the defect. Exploitation, the action of making use of and benefiting from resources or people. New laws were passed to prevent the labor exploitation of migrant workers. Implications, the conclusion that can be drawn from something although not explicitly stated. The sudden policy change has serious implications for the country's economy. Precedent, an earlier event or action that serves as an example for the future. This court ruling sets a dangerous precedent for future privacy lawsuits. Bucket, classified or grouped into categories. All expenses are bucketed into specific categories for easier tracking. Addicting, causing someone to become dependent on a habit or substance. Developers are accused of making mobile games intentionally addicting for kids. Validated, confirmed or proven to be true or valid. The research findings were validated by several independent studies. Compensatory, intended to recompense someone for loss, harm, or injury. The victim was awarded compensatory damages to cover their medical bills. Punitive, intended as a punishment rather than compensation. The judge imposed punitive fines on the company to deter future misconduct. Insurers, persons or companies that provide insurance. Insurers are raising premiums in areas prone to natural disasters. Shrugging, dismissing something as unimportant, lifting shoulders. Instead of apologizing, the manager was just shrugging his shoulders at the complaints. Statutory, required, permitted, or enacted by statute. All employees are entitled to a statutory minimum wage as per national law. Allegations, claims that someone has done something wrong, typically without proof. The politician denied all allegations of corruption during his speech. Misbehavior, improper or inappropriate behavior. The student was suspended from school due to repeated misbehavior in class. Amendment, a minor change or addition designed to improve a text or piece of legislation. The First Amendment protects the freedom of speech and religion in the U.S. State House, the building in which a state legislature meets. Protesters gathered outside the State House to voice their opposition to the new law. Endorsed, declared one's public approval or support of something. The celebrity endorsed the new skincare brand in a viral video. Anti-Semitic, showing hostility or prejudice against Jewish people. The police are investigating the graffiti as an anti-Semitic hate crime. Crude, raw, specifically unrefined petroleum. The global price of crude oil has dropped significantly this month. Mediated, intervened in a dispute to bring about an agreement. The peace talks were mediated by a group of neutral diplomats. Unanimous, fully in agreement, having the support of everyone involved. The committee reached a unanimous decision to appoint a new CEO. Piracy, the unauthorized use or reproduction of another's work. The film industry loses billions of dollars every year due to online piracy. Infringement, the action of breaking the terms of a law or agreement. Using copyrighted music without permission is a direct infringement of the law. Malicious, intending or intended to do harm. The company's database was hacked by a malicious software attack. Surcharges, additional charges or taxes. Many airlines impose fuel surcharges when oil prices are high. Congressional, relating to a national legislative body. The Congressional Committee is holding a hearing on the national budget. Counteroffers, proposals made in response to another offer. After several counteroffers, the buyer and seller finally agreed on a price. Leery, cautious or wary due to realistic suspicions. Investors are leery of putting money into startups with no clear business plan. Intermittent, occurring at irregular intervals, not continuous. The region experienced intermittent power outages during the storm. Eviction, the action of expelling someone from a property. Thousands of families are facing eviction due to rising rental costs. Repossessed, retaken possession of something because payments were not made. His car was repossessed by the bank after he missed 3 consecutive payments. Defaulted, failed to fulfill an obligation, especially to repay a loan. The company defaulted on its debt obligations, leading to bankruptcy. Recess, a period of time when the proceedings of a court or parliament are suspended. Parliament will go on recess for the summer holidays next week. Backlash, a strong and adverse reaction by a large number of people. The brand faced a massive backlash after its controversial advertisement. Reverberating, of a loud noise, repeated several times as an echo, having a continuous effect. The impact of the bank's collapse is still reverberating through the global markets. Enact, to put into practice, to make into a law. The government plans to enact stricter environmental regulations next year. Debilitating, making someone very weak and infirm. She is suffering from a debilitating illness that keeps her from working. Circumnavigating, avoiding an obstacle by going around it. Tech-savvy teens are finding ways of circumnavigating parental control apps. Misogynistic, reflecting or promoting hatred or prejudice against women. The podcast was criticized for its misogynistic comments about female athletes. Ideation, the formation of ideas or concepts. Doctors are trained to screen patients for suicide ideation during checkups. Lymphoma, cancer of the lymph nodes. He was diagnosed with lymphoma but is responding well to the treatment. Maximalist, holding extreme or uncompromising views. Both sides entered the negotiations with maximalist demands that were hard to meet. Propensity, an inclination or natural tendency to behave in a particular way. She has a propensity to overthink things before making a simple decision. Impasse, a situation in which no progress is possible. The talks between the union and the management have reached an impasse. Improbable, not likely to be true or to happen. It seems highly improbable that the team will win given their current injuries. Prelude, an action or event serving as an introduction to something more important. The minor border skirmish was a prelude to a full-scale invasion. Pummeled, struck repeatedly with the fists, hit hard. The coastal town was pummeled by strong winds and heavy rain during the storm. Paradoxically, in a seemingly absurd or self-contradictory way. Paradoxically, the more technology we have to save time, the busier we seem to be. Escalate, to become or make something more intense or serious. We must act now to prevent the trade dispute from escalating into a war. Obsolescence, the process of becoming obsolete or outdated. The rapid pace of tech development leads to the planned obsolescence of many gadgets. Ecology, the relation of organisms to one another and to their physical surroundings. The construction project was halted to protect the local ecology of the wetlands. Uprising, an act of resistance or rebellion, a revolt. The military uprising was quickly suppressed by the government forces. Deterrence, the action of discouraging an action or event through instilling doubt or fear. The possession of nuclear weapons is often seen as a form of strategic deterrence. Coercive, relating to or using force or threats. The regime used coercive measures to silence political opposition. Apparatus, the complex structure of a particular organization or system. The entire state apparatus was mobilized to handle the national emergency. Spree, a spell or sustained period of unrestrained activity of a particular kind. The suspect went on a shopping spree using a stolen credit card. Modus vivendi, an arrangement or agreement allowing conflicting parties to coexist peacefully. The two countries established a modus vivendi to manage their border dispute. Ante, a stake put up by a player in poker, a price or cost. The latest move by the competitor has raised the ante in the smartphone market. Shuttered, closed or with shutters. The street was filled with shuttered stores during the citywide lockdown. Projectile, an object propelled through the air, especially one thrown as a weapon. The police were hit by several projectiles thrown by the angry crowd. Deporting, expelling a foreigner from a country, typically on the grounds of illegal status. The government is deporting individuals who have overstayed their tourist visas. Asylum, the protection granted by a nation to someone who has left their native country as a refugee. Many political activists have sought asylum in Europe to avoid imprisonment. Treacherous, guilty of involving betrayal or deception. Hazardous. The hikers had to navigate a treacherous path along the edge of the cliff. Horrendous, extremely unpleasant, horrifying, or terrible. The commuters faced horrendous traffic delays due to the accident on the bridge. Interrogate. Ask questions of someone closely, aggressively, or formally. The police will interrogate the suspect for several hours to get a confession. Obscured, kept from being seen, concealed. The mountain peaks were obscured by a thick layer of morning mist. Nationality. The status of belonging to a particular nation. She holds dual nationality, having been born in the U.S. to Canadian parents. Deport. Expel a foreigner from a country. The authorities decided to deport the immigrant after his criminal conviction. Mistreated. Treated badly or cruelly. Animal rights groups work to rescue dogs that have been mistreated by their owners. Indefinitely. For an unlimited or unspecified period of time. The trial has been postponed indefinitely while new evidence is being gathered. Legitimate. Conforming to the law or to rules. There are legitimate concerns about the safety of the new power plant. Expectancy. The state of thinking or hoping that something, especially something pleasant, will happen. Improved healthcare has led to a significant increase in life expectancy.